Hello, Internet, and welcome back to Elegant Suffering, our Good Society game. We have guests this evening. LB Hackamuff is joining us. We're excited, and we have a lot of fun prepared for you. Oh, believe me. But let's do some channel announcements first. Coming up, this. What is today? Today's a Thursday. Yes. Oh boy, y'all. This coming Saturday is the inaugural episode, I believe, of Saturday night's Apocalypse. See, I did Thunderball, and I'm gonna do Apocalypse now every time I say that. So this is Apocalypse. That is Saturdays at 3 p.m. Eastern. Sunday, 4 o'clock Eastern. Slan 101. We're back. Man. What happened last week? It's a blur. Vampires Are Done.
Met Victoria's mom.
We did. We met Victoria's family. That there was a lot that happened. Wynn had a terrible day. That's all you need to know, I suppose. And,
Me too, buddy.
Me too. That's rough, buddy. On Tuesday, 7 o'clock Eastern, Ales, D&D 5e. There was the fighting of a Hydra, and we had some dad action. We found Poland's dad. That's I'm gonna call everything dad action now. Hashtag dad action. So come on by and say hello. So for Thursdays, All Myths Are True is going to go on a hiatus, but we'll have announcements for that again soon. I think that's everything. So why don't we go around and do some character introductions for today? Sean, who are you and what are you playing?
Hi. I am playing. Oh boy, I forgot my character's name. I'm Sean the Kraken King. I'm playing Raleigh Addison, the hedonist. Are we doing desires too, or do you want to just talk her name first?
Yeah, go ahead and do desires too for anyone that's maybe joining us.
And Raleigh is trying his best to humiliate his cousin Theo in every matter and win my uncle's inheritance.
Bum, bum, bum. All right. Savvy.
That's me. Hi, I'm Savvy at Savvy Seaworth. Today I am playing... Wait, I have it here written down so I won't forget. The Honorable Rosamund Spice, Countess of Breckenshire. I'm the heir, and I want to marry my secret fiancé. And apparently everyone else in this damn game wants to marry me.
You brought it on yourself. No.
It's become very exciting.
Yes. Wonderful.
Now I just have to get some dad action.
Hashtag dad action. RJ.
Hey everybody, I'm RJ, and I'm playing Theophilus Wilmont, the dependent. His desire is to convince his parent to accept him as his legitimate heir and declare his relationship to all the world, which is also the uncle of Raleigh, so that makes me his cousin. I'm also the secret fiancé of Countess Rosamund Spice.
Just so much from intros, y'all. Did you ever realize that? We just have so much going on in the intros. I love it. Alex!
And then there's me, Alex. Hi, I'm playing Mr. Grover Shelton, the careerist, whose desire is to bolster my love interest's reputation and then win my parents' permission to marry them.
And who's your love interest?
It's a bit up in the air right now. There's a whole lot going on in that department. It would help if you knew one of their names.
That would be helpful, wouldn't it? And last but not least, our guest for the evening, LB.
Hi, I'm LB Hackamup, and I'm going to be playing a mysterious character. It's Theo's secret lover. No, I'm kidding. You'll find out later.
Oh, wait, are you Theo's actual dad? I told you, dad action. Here we go. That's what's
Are you
up.
my dad?
No. Yeah, a dress like this for your dad.
I love it so. We're so glad you're joining us. We're gonna have some fun tonight. Let's go ahead because we are going to be starting with reputation. So let's go back and see what actually happened last time on Elegant Suffering. We got to the more raucous tail end of Mr. Addison's get-together. There was some action in the hedge maze that may or may not have been, spied by a certain Madame Dupont. There was what has been dubbed Regency Spin the Bottle. Was a very fun game. There was smooches for lots of people. The Countess and Raleigh had again, more of a power move, I think, than a smooch. I'm just gonna call it a power move. It's fine. And Grover got a little snogging from a mysterious lady in a mauve dress. Very exciting. After the debauchery, unfortunately, after some extra negative tags, Mr. Theo got thrown out. Oh boy. And I apparently scared everyone who is Catholic. I apologize yet again. So he was kind of out down on his luck. But did get taken in by Mr. Hammer, again, actually his illegitimate father. Raleigh and the Countess had a bit of a get-together, and a tentative alliance friendship is happening. We'll see. Theo commissioned a fantastic painting from Grover. I'm very excited about this. Again, if you are an artist and want to make that happen, please let us know. Vernice proposed, asked to propose in typical Vernice fashion. So that's a thing. And then, let's see. Theo went for it. Say anything style. And now Miss Amelia, horse girl Amelia, knows what's going on. So, but she's not a snitch, so it's okay. I think that's a fairly thorough recap, yes? We're good? Sweet. All right, with all of that in mind, let us do some reputation, shall we? Everyone wants to pull up their character background sheets. Sorry, excuse me. That would be your family background sheets. My apologies. And let's take a peek here at what we've got. Thinking back to our actions from the previous novel chapter, we'll go ahead and start with Sean.
So I've been thinking about this since we started the recap, and Raleigh only had one scene during the last novel chapter, which is the one where he spoke with the Countess.
Mm-hmm.
Correct. I don't know if any of these apply.
And we did agree that if it was somewhere in the middle, then we don't have to take either a positive or negative tag.
Yeah, because I don't think he did anything that gained a negative tag. Definitely.
No.
He didn't act in contravention or anything like that. But I was debating whether he had done anything that, because all of them requires some sort of like compromising your desires or hardship or something like that. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if anything that happened in his conversation with the Countess really compromised him or gave him hardship in any way.
I think that's definitely fair. That's fair to argue. So if we want to go with a neutral and not grab a tag, that's totally fine.
Yeah, I think that's the only thing that makes sense.
Okay.
Right now.
You got it. Stand where you're at. All right. Keep that in mind, Savvy.
I would like to make the argument that I get a positive tag.
Okay, please. You'll all know. Make your argument.
Thank you, counselor. One for inviting Raleigh over to my house, having tea, being very nice to him. And then mostly for not mostly for going along with Vernice. I would say I acted in service of duty or morality in a way that compromised my desires because I hated all of that.
I would say so, most certainly. You gave her the go-ahead without giving her the go-ahead, but yes, you basically gave her the go-ahead to propose. So yeah, I would say so. That is very fair. So with that in mind, what do you think would be the best descriptor for that?
Gosh, I already have dutiful.
Mm-hmm. Let's see.
And I already have charitable.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I'm being very charitable with Vernice. This is the hard part.
Something about like, I mean, do we even go with honorable? Like you're honoring your obligations in this regard?
Yeah.
All right, let's do it. I mean, we literally say honorable every time we say your name, so we might as well throw it in there.
Just go ahead and put it on there.
Why not? I like it.
Okay.
Perfect. All right, so next up is Theo.
I'm going to take the Riley route and say that I don't plus or minus on anything. I don't think I did anything that gains a negative or positive tag.
No, not in that particular novel chapter. Well, if anything, I think honestly, I think you could even go for a positive. You still reconciled with the Reverend, but you also decided that you would continue to stay at Mr. Hammer's house. So you definitely made a sacrifice in that regard. I would argue a positive for that, but totally up to you if you want to stay neutral.
What would we say with that then?
I would say, let me grab you here. Sorry, not literally grab you. My apologies. I would ask first. I would say sacrificed or denied your own desires to please someone of, like, again, the Reverend does hold some position of power in the church, so.
And it'd be a hell of a lot easier to live with the Reverend.
Mm-hmm. So I would argue that if you feel that it was more of a neutral thing, then I'm leaving it up to you.
I was saying, like, what tag would we write under that then?
I would say, I mean, you definitely made a sacrifice.
Thesaurus.
Thesaurus.com. Literally, guys, I have thesaurus.com pulled up because this, again, we're writing a novel together, so of course we're going to be using a thesaurus a lot. Let's see. Come on, load.
I have self-immolation.
Whoa.
Hey.
Let's dial it back a little bit.
Well, we can go for torture then. Thanks, thesaurus.com.
Wow, thesaurus.com. Are you okay? Who hurt you with thesaurus.com?
I was thinking like repentant or penitent or something like that.
Penitent? That sounds good. How does that sound, RJ?
Yeah, I'm just going to go on Google and check how to spell that.
Perfect.
Now you'll definitely be able to make it through the first trial when you need to go get the holy fuck, I can't remember.
You're trying to beat me to my own damn joke. In Hebrew, penitent begins with an I.
But how will I get the pieces to the golden monkey for the Legend of the Hidden Temple?
Oh my god. Throwback. I love all of you dearly. All right. Alex, save us from ourselves. What do you got?
I don't think I have that power. Let's see. I mean, I'm kind of leaning towards neutral just because Grover didn't have that much last chapter.
Mm-hmm.
I know the only thing I'm thinking of is, I mean, there could be positive acted in service of duty or morality in a way that compromise your desires, in that we haven't done too much of this yet, and I'm wondering if I should save this for my inevitable monologue, but Grover is being overwhelmed by the amount of commissions he's taken on.
Ah, okay.
So, well, that hasn't played out yet. I'm just wondering
Gotcha.
if...
So even offering to take on the commission for Theo is pushing himself to the limit.
mhm.
I would say that's fair if you want to argue that.
Okay.
So, charitable. Let's see. Thesaurus. Benevolent.
Sure. Because he's definitely...
Obliging.
yeah, obliging is probably better.
Okay. Thank you, thesaurus.com. Please sponsor us. Okay. Wonderful. I don't think we had any new rep conditions. We're still our current ones. So lovely. So yes, we have completed reputation. Now we get letters. Letters. We got letters. Why don't we? Yeah, we'll start with Sean.
Oh boy.
I know. There's so much. There's just so much.
There are two people that I want to write letters to that I'm really debating which one I want to start with. I think he's going to write a letter to his mom first.
Okay.
Because she hasn't been around, so I'm assuming she's not like in town.
Well, she's not
don't-
in Tonsham, but she's in town. She's in London. Yeah.
Right. So I think he writes her a letter, and it says, what does it say? Dear Mother, I hope your time in town is going well. I have been keeping up with the estate per your request. I do wish for us to have a talk about some rather urgent matters sometime in the near future regarding the estate and some necessary arrangements I'll be looking to make in the coming weeks. Do let me know when you'll be returning. Your doting son, Raleigh.
All right. Let's move on to Siafi.
I would like to leave a letter for my dad. Can't really send him one.
Oh yeah, just leave it in his office or something. Yeah.
I hopefully as close to this conversation with Bernice as I possibly can. I would like to leave my dad a note that says something along the lines of, Dear Father, I live in your home, so it seems awkward to say I hope you're well. I know you're not fond of surprises, so please heed this word. A certain Miss Keating has made her intentions known with me and means to speak with you about them. Though I know you're under no obligation to, and I know I do not have a right to it. I would ask that you tell me your answer before you tell her. Your daughter, Rose.
Okay. Our RJ.
Theo's going to write a letter to Miles Hammer. It's the parent episode.
Parents. Sorry, go ahead.
It starts as to Lord Miles Hammer, expense report dated blah 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 blah. It reads a list of supplies that were used, supplies that are needed, and then at the bottom of it is, for the fertilizer, we could possibly buy it off of the Adderwood estate. They have plenty of horses. And the export costs, or the import costs, would be much lower than importing from out of town. Just a suggestion. Theophilus Wilmont.
Okay. I love all these things being said. Sorry, I'm the biggest fan of this show. Okay. Alex.
Okay, well, almost feel like I need to stay on theme then and write to Mama. Which will work because I was trying to come up with some letters anyway, so I think it's this is probably from him. So Grover to his mom, probably written from the Adderwood estate where he's been spending a lot of time in his studio there instead of coming home and working there. So updating her on that. But dear mother, well, I hope that you would be proud of me that the requests for commissions keep coming in. It truly is astonishing how much money the people around here have to throw around, but I will say it has become just a bit much to keep up with. That alongside my personal passion projects, I do worry that I may not be able to complete all my work to satisfaction. And while I would never wish to bring shame upon our family, just know that I may need to adjust some priorities in order to keep everything under control. Your son, Grover.
Aw, that's sweet. All right. So let's have LB write her first letter.
Dear Mother. No, this is to the Honorable Rosamund Spice, Countess of Brackenshire. I hope this letter finds you well and that the warm spring sun shines favorably upon you today. I must confess I find it difficult to begin this letter due to the fact that you and I have never met. Though I have been told that you know of me, and I know much of you, I still find it proper to keep this correspondence as polite as possible, lest I ruin my reputation without being able to do so in person first. Your father, the Marquis, has been quite adamant that you and I get to know each other better. He has asked me over many times, and I have politely declined, because I feel if I am to call on someone, I would like their permission to do so first. I have been told of your beauties, and I chanced to glance upon them on the Saturday last at the gala at the Battenmore estate. I must say that the rumors I have been told surrounding your alluring appearance hold nothing to the stunning presence that I beheld that night. With the chaos of the evening, I could not find a way to be properly introduced, and I must apologize for this. I have thought of nothing of our meeting since that eve, and with your invitation, I shall call as soon as it can be arranged. I eagerly await your response. Yours truly, Colonel Annabelle Breyer.
Yay!
Fucking knew it.
The surprise that was a surprise to no one. Yay! LB will be taken over as a character of the Colonel. We have worked out when she's not available to play the character, then I'll just use her as a connection. But for tonight, drum roll, please. Ha-ha! There's her character sheet and the accounting sheet. Bam. Ooh, I like the name of your estate too. Well done. Awesome. Yay. All right, so we'll go back around. I'll do my 2 in a row. That's fine. That's fine. First one will be back to it's 2 parents in 2 houses sending letters to their children that live with them. I love it. Back to the Countess from the Marquise. My darling Rosamond, your letter finds me ill at ease. I wonder why something that should bring such joy would lead to such trepidation on your part. Is there a different conversation that we should be having in regard to Miss Keating's affections for you? You know, I would never wish you to be with any partner that would not make you, that would not give you the utmost of happiness. Please let me know, my dear, before I make any sort of arrangements in regard to this. Yours sincerely, Father. He's a good guy. And back to Grover as well. My moms and dads. Darling Grover, next time, please just come into the salon and talk to me. But, my dear, if you require to take any sort of break, you know you're able to do so. I admire your passion, of course, and your ability to potentially make an honest living for yourself, as always. But please do not overstretch yourself. You know, I used to be an old pat at painting myself. If you would like to hire your dear old mother, in the house only, of course, I'd be more than happy to oblige you. Again, though, please just come to me next time instead of wasting paper and ink. Yours sincerely, Mother. And let's go back around. So, LB, do you have a second letter? It's okay, I don't want to put you on the spot.
Probably just a business letter to the Marquis
Okay.
about how the production's going, date of when the building will be done, and when textiles will start being built, made in there. I will reassure him that I have sent a letter to his daughter and basically say the ball's in her court now, so please stop asking me about it. In a very polite way.
Oh, of course, yeah, absolutely. All right, awesome. Alex.
I think. I want to do something from Miles about what Theo sent to him, but I'm wondering if he would be the kind to write a servant a letter, or how could we do that, like a Miles Hammer informs his head servant and basically passes it down the line, and Theo eventually finds out that his suggestion of adjusting fertilizer procurement has been taken under advisement, and he will enter into discussions with the Marquis.
Absolutely. So eventually, Theo receives a letter that was passed between several butlers and everything else, and wasn't actually written by Mr. Hammer. It was, written by, his right hand. But yes, you do get the affirmative on that. Excellent. So next up is Savvy.
Is it me? Oh gosh. I will write back to the Colonel. And just, Colonel Annabelle Breyer. I must admit I had heard your name from my father, but to receive a letter from you yourself intrigues me. So I don't know. I guess I'll invite her over. So I'll write something about time and date. And invite her over for, I don't know, brunch. I've been doing brunch. We'll keep doing brunch.
You have a lot of brunch dates.
Favorite, I guess it's Rosamund's favorite thing. I will cordially invite her and I guess wait to see if she shows up.
Okay. I like it. Sean?
I have a question before I write mine. The relationship between Theo and Miles Hammer. Raleigh knows that Theo is his son.
Correct. Because it's within the family. So the way I see it, like,
it is known within the family.
It's known within the family, but the family doesn't really talk about it in, proper society. So
Okay. Would it be uncommon for Raleigh to? I imagine Raleigh and his uncle might have had a conversation about it, or like talked about it, like over letters or other conversations in the past. Or is it just like not talked about?
I don't think it's really talked about. I think it's more like it's that oh yeah, no, don't mention it in front of them, that sort of thing.
Okay. Because I had that thought the other day, and I was like, Raleigh's always calling him cousin, and I didn't know if that would be something that people would.
Honestly, it could just be like a greeting as well, dear cousin. So
yeah,
honestly, I don't think anyone would think much of it.
Either way, Raleigh is writing a letter to Miles Hammer, and it would be, dear uncle, hope this letter finds you well. It has been far too long since we spoke. I do remember the last time we had a bit of a disagreement on some of my recent behaviors, included in detail in your last letter. I do wish you to know that I respect the suggestions that you've made, and I will endeavor to uphold them in the future. In doing so, I would very much like to spend some time together, to reconnect and to show you how seriously I take this matter. If it is your preference, perhaps we could meet for a hunt later in the month, or whatever it is that you are up to these days. Please let me know at your earliest leisure. Your dear nephew, Raleigh Addison.
We are laying those dominoes, aren't we? I love it. I love it. I love it. Excellent. That was very successful letters. We
Still
have
need RJ's second letter.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
No, it's fine.
How did I skip? Yell at me next time. I'm looking at way too many windows. I apologize.
It's all right. You're fine. Theo's gonna write a letter to Grover, and it simply just says "drinks?" ?
To the point. I dig it.
You up?
Hey fam, you up?
I love it so. Excellent. Bum, 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 bum. All right, my friends, it's time for upkeep. Get out your sheets.
Unpolite
right.
company.
Not those sheets. All right. So we do need to use any remaining monologue tokens. So who is left to monologue? Yep.
Me. I imagine this is as Grover's at work in one of his studios, either at home or at the Adderwood estate. There are more and more half-started paintings around, fewer and fewer that seem anywhere near completion. I knew that stepping into the realm of the landed gentry would be a challenge, but I never imagined it would be quite so difficult as this, that my passion would become so draining and consuming, but not in a good way. I do worry that I will not be able to fulfill any of these requests, let alone the ones that came in soonest, and keep up with them, not just because of the volume, but because I am still consumed by that woman in the mauve dress. I have started and trashed far too many portraits attempting to paint her and recapture her likeness, but I suppose I can blame the alcohol that I cannot remember exactly what she was like, and I will regret that for a while. But I suppose I have two options: either heed my mother's advice and take a break and disappoint those who have hired me, or put my nose to the grindstone, see what I can accomplish, and see if I can power through it and show that damnable Mr. Cockburn who the better painter is. That's it.
I love it. Yay! And Colonel Breyer, we'll have you go ahead and monologue as well. Doesn't have to be long.
Oh
Just
boy.
any internal thoughts that the Colonel is having.
I find it quite odd that this town, being so small, has such lively and interesting people in it. The party I attended was nothing like I've seen before, and I'm quite excited to see more of it. This new venture has turned into something more joyous than I could ever have imagined. Though the progress on the new textile mill is not going as quickly as I would have liked, it is still going, and perhaps it will give me more time to wander about this place and find who I can find.
Yay! We have so much to look forward to. All right. So monologues are done. Everyone go ahead and, regardless of where you are at, take another resolve token. Bam. As a treat. Take it. And ooh, this is the first time we get to do this. So let us go ahead and take a look at our inner conflicts and go ahead and see what has been done. So let's start at the bottom. Alex, take a peek at your inner conflicts if you want to remind us what they are.
Yes, so I have passion versus convention.
Mm-hmm.
Oh boy. So,
There are several. So,
Mhm.
and again, if this is the same thing as rep tags, if you
Mhm.
don't really feel that you did one or the other through the last couple of novel chapters, you don't have to put anything down. But if you feel that you did one or the other of any of these, feel free to mark it down. Any thoughts?
Probably took action in pursuit of convention, what with taking on all the different commissions and trying to do his best to be the painter and do all the work and all that jazz.
Mm-hmm.
And so has not been able to do as much of painting for his own sake.
Totally. Bam.
And we're only supposed to do one.
I would say one for each column. So if you did anything for passion in these particular ones, you could go ahead and mark that down as well.
Yeah. don't think any of these. I don't think he did anything strong enough for passion to go for any of these yet.
Fair enough. Awesome. Let's go to RJ.
Looking at him, you took action in pursuit of desire.
I would say so. Put that boombox a little higher, my dude.
And you sacrificed something important to you for desire. He sacrificed staying at the priory
Yeah.
to further his ambitions.
Yeah, I'd say that's duty for, well, I would argue that's duty, honestly. You felt your duty, like, to sacrifice, honestly, comforts for, you know, kind of standing up in the world. That's my take. But if you think it was more on desire, go for it.
Sacrifice something important to be a real boy.
Right? Awesome.
Yeah.
Sweet. Sammy.
I don't know.
There's just so
I'm
much.
just sitting here staring at it. I'm struggling with this one. I don't know. At first pass, none of them really stick out to me.
Mm-hmm. And that makes sense. Again, we can go for neutral with these as well. I don't think you necessarily, you kind of went middle of the road. Like, again, you didn't turn away from these, but you didn't say yes. Like,
yeah, some of them in like a roundabout way I could probably argue for, but I don't want to do that. Because I'm sure they'll come up, so I'll leave it for now.
I'm sure. Awesome. And Sean.
Can we talk about something, because we haven't really discussed like the purpose of the inner conflicts, like
Yeah.
Or at least it's been a while, so I've forgotten.
It's been a while. Yes.
Yeah. What is the end result, or the
so
end
the end results with these would be if you end up getting an entire line, like you fill everything on one particular side of your inner conflict. I mean, kind of that one won, as it were. So if you get all 5 on one side eventually, that would lead to some extended background options. That would allow you to add additional connections. That would allow you to literally change out your major character. And so your current major character would become a connection, and you could become a connection as a major character, or make a new one entirely up.
Okay.
So yeah, a lot of options with those.
All right. So mine is desire versus obligation. One of them jumped out at me immediately, which is you hurt or pushed away someone important to you for this. I think he hurt Theo.
Hold please.
You guys did roll
Wait.
up for a minute there.
Wait. Yeah, we're back. Okay.
Okay.
There we go.
Sorry about that, everybody. All right, so we are continuing through our upkeep phase. So yeah, just give me a thumbs up or holler at me if we need to add anything or amend anything in the collaboration. Still good with romantic comedy? Yes? Yay? Yay. Still good with somewhat important historical accuracy? Yay? Nay? Good. Gender balance, turn it off. Cool. Still good, no hidden information, because that's gonna get confusing. Cool. If we need to add anything to our hard lines, veils, anything there, anything we'd like to see? Any new additions?
I don't think we have Bigfoot on there enough.
Do we need another example of Bigfoot? Here we go. Bigfoot. Bigfoot.
There we go.
And we did say we need a big wedding. Is the end of this game going to be Bigfoot's wedding?
It is now. No.
Is Bigfoot an ordained minister?
I mean, that's pretty easy to do.
The
Anyway.
Reverend's been Bigfoot this whole time.
I love it so. All right, so we're all set then for upkeep. Excellent. So go ahead and refresh everything for your characters. You have your monologue tokens back. You are a no for monologue tokens. You have not monologued this cycle. I get more tokens. Mwahahaha. And we shall go ahead and begin our next novel chapter. So, we've been alternating back and forth with events and visitations. I want to lay out an option for y'all. I feel that with the official arrival of the Colonel into town, I feel it would be most appropriate to show her a welcome. So I figure that now that the the Marquis has heard that he has been accepted for the Colonel to come over and hang out, he kind of wants to throw a big luncheon. Now, for the event chapter, we do need everyone involved, and given situations previously that might rule out Theo, but I have a workaround. Countess. And this is a fun way to describe spending these as well. So you currently have a positive tag labeled charitable. So if you are willing to spend that particular token and remove that particular tag, you will still have your reputation condition because you still have 3. But if you want to set up a scene where you potentially convince your father that inviting Theo would be a wonderful idea, we could definitely do that.
I would love to do that.
Yay! All right, go ahead and get rid of that tag. And so that is a way that you can utilize those tags, by the way. So you can, whatever the tag may be, if it's something that would work in gameplay, you burn it as a resolve token and we'll set up a scene for it. So, Countess, your father is actually getting involved with the preparations for this luncheon, which is very odd. So he's actually himself in the kitchens, sort of, yelling at cooks. No, the salted meats as well. Thank you. Yes, thank you very much. Oh, darling Rose, what can I do for you?
Well, is everything all right? I could hear you down the hall.
Oh, no, everything's fine. They just need to pull up the pork. It's fine. Yes.
Might I have a word?
Of course.
It's about the the invitations, the guest list to the luncheon.
Yes. Of course.
I had actually thought to add a name to it. That's
Yes.
been left off, but we might need to speak on the matter a bit. You remember Mr. Wilmot, yes?
Yes. He was quite a lively boy. Where exactly are you going with this, Rose?
I'd hoped we might be able to invite him.
Whatever for?
Well, I've heard... I really don't put much stock in gossip and rumblings and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
But our events, as of late, have tended to very much cater to the upper echelon, as they really should. But I worry that not having a more grounded sort of common representation at them might look poorly on us, especially as he's affiliated with the church, and I don't imagine the Reverend will be able to make it out, so...
that was my first inclination when you said that, but that's true. The Reverend, I don't think, gets out much. Well, as you know, when it is time, you will take over for me here at the estate, so... All right. If this is the way that you would like to make the arrangements, I shall defer to you on the matter.
Thank you, Father.
Of course. However, with that granted power also comes responsibility. So you will be taking full responsibility for your guests.
Of course.
Quite right. Well, I'm going to go make sure that the pork is ready.
All right.
And he goes and yells about pork. Excellent. Yay! Theo, you have secured an invitation to this huge luncheon. In fact, all of you have secured invitations to this welcome luncheon.
There's an addendum to Theo's invitation that says, no punching or you'll get me in trouble.
Perfect. I love it. I love it. I love it. So, really just throwing it together in a few days, we come to a lovely outdoor luncheon to welcome the guest of honor, the Colonel, Annabelle Breyer. Everyone is there mingling, fantastic food. The Colonel is getting many welcomes from around the community, people interested. Where does she take up residence? Where are you renting now? Oh, yes, wonderful. Are you married? People just jumping on into your business. So, so the Colonel is definitely navigating people. What are the rest of you doing?
I did want to throw a resolve token on this character when they were an NPC to change a bit of their background.
Okay.
I want to say that Annabelle Breyer was also from the St. Wilmont orphanage, but she was adopted partway through. And she knows Theo.
That works.
LB, are you okay with that?
Yeah,
Okay.
that makes sense. We were just discussing this today.
Perfect.
When she was adopted, she was quite young still?
Probably like, 8, 9.
So would she recognize him in this current?
You can
know
make that
how-
stipulation too with the token. If we recognize each other, we don't recognize each other. One of us recognizes the other.
Oh, Theo would have, during the introductions, introduced himself and then squinted for a second. Annie?
Theo?
What? You're...
I didn't think I'd see you again.
Oh, yes, well...
You're the one who threw the punch.
Wait, how do you know that?
Well, I was there, of course.
Oh, God.
That was a great
Please.
right hook.
Yeah, thanks. What are you doing here?
I recently moved to town. I'm staying up the hill.
Oh,
What are you doing here?
I was invited.
Have you found station then?
No, I have left the priory on some terms. I'm currently living in the Hammer Estate as their assistant gardener.
Oh, I see.
Yes. I read in the letter that, because the Reverend couldn't make it out, I'd be representing the church, so here I am in my finery.
It's so lovely to see you. I was not expecting that today.
I was not expecting this either. We should catch up.
Yes, you know, I do have quite a bit of work to do at the estate. If your gardening skills are as good as I imagine they can be, I would appreciate some help.
Yes,
Your services could be spared.
I do have off days after mass, so sure, I could come up.
That'd be lovely.
Don't let me keep you. It's nice seeing you again.
It's lovely seeing you as well, Theo.
Love it. Yay. So RJ, mark off a token. LB, take one.
Yeah.
Do we want to do all the introductions to the Colonel? Everyone getting introduced? All right. Raleigh.
Oh man, how hard does Raleigh come off right now?
I don't know.
As he is introduced, I think is probably already on his second drink of whatever they have, and says, "Oh, Colonel Raya, correct?
Yes.
Raleigh
Mr.
Addison.
Oh, lovely to meet you, Mr. Addison. I was in attendance of your party the other night.
Were you?
Yes. Unfortunately, I couldn't quite find someone to introduce me to quite a few people, and I had a business in the morning, so I had to leave early.
Yes, that can be a bit crowded. Proper introductions usually aren't paramount at our gatherings. I take it that was your first introduction to many of the denizens of our small community?
Yes, I've been about town for a few weeks, but haven't gotten to know them quite so well.
Excellent. Well, I'm happy to hear that we made a good impression, I hope. Right. So, pleasure to meet you.
Lovely to meet you as well.
Oh, Rora. Just like walks off.
I love it. Grover. When you are introduced, Colonel, this gentleman looks familiar. Quite familiar.
I'm sorry, you said your name was Mr. Shelton, yes?
Yes, sorry, did I mess up the introduction?
No, I'm sorry. You look like someone I met the other night at a party at the, what's it called?
Battenmore.
The Battenmore estate.
You must forgive me, there were a lot of people that evening, and I may have been not quite introduced to many of them.
Well, we got quite a good introduction, but you were rather drunk and dizzy at the time.
Oh.
Grover, you now very quickly realize that the black hair, the frame of her neck, everything you've been attempting to draw for the past several weeks, this is the lady in the mauve dress.
Oh, I am, I don't know what to say. I'm sorry, and it's a pleasure to meet you, formally.
It's all right. I knew what I was getting into when I entered that room.
Yes, well, forgive me if this is too forward, but I find that I very much wish to do a portrait of you.
I'm sorry?
It's, you may have heard that I have been doing portraits and paintings for people here in Tonsham, but
oh, yes.
Ever since that night, I have been thinking of you, or the woman in the mauve dress, as it were. But now that I know who you are, I would take it as a personal favor if you would agree to let me paint you when you have the time for it, of course.
I see. How very forward of you. Sure. That would be lovely.
Yes, well, wonderful. I have, studio here at the at the Adderwood Estate. I've also got my studio back at home, or if you wish, I can come to wherever it is you are staying and do the painting there.
Of course, I will. Shall I call upon you here, or where is the best to send correspondence?
To Jasmine Manor. That is where I reside.
Right. Well, I shall do so. With the opening of the mill, I think it's. I'm sure I can find some time.
Well, I look forward to hearing from you.
Thank you, Mr. Shelton.
Turns around and zooms away.
Yay! And last but not least, the Countess.
Make a dramatic entrance.
Who introduces us?
I would assume probably the Marquis himself. So as you get settled and, go through basically the receiving line of people as you are the guest of honor, after all that kind of settles, the Marquis sort of taps you on the shoulder and says, I do have someone that I have been very much wishing to introduce you to. This way. Lynn leads you over to the Countess herself. Rosamond, you see your father walking over with the lady of the hour. And he brings her over and says, Colonel, this is my lovely daughter. This is the Countess Rosamond. Rosamond, this is Colonel Annabelle Breyer.
Colonel Breyer, what a pleasure to finally put a face to a name.
Well, I hope the things that you have heard of me aren't too shocking or revealing.
Nothing like that.
Thank you, Marquis. It's a very lovely introduction.
He's been kind of looking back and forth, and of course, I'll let you get acquainted. I'll just, yes.
Thank you, Father.
Yes, he'll scamper away.
You look very lovely today.
Thank you. You as well.
I didn't expect quite the event for brunch. However, it is very well put together, very lovely.
Thank you. My father worked very hard on it.
I'm certain that he did. I must apologize for not introducing myself the other night. I didn't feel it was the proper situation, all the goings-on and such.
Yes, quite the goings-on. Well, I do hope you had a good time. Mr. Addison does throw quite the party.
Yes, he does. I was very happy to have attended. And inadvertently found one of my childhood friends, which I reintroduced today.
Oh, really?
Yes, I was going to pull up his full name. Leomund... Oh, no, not Leomund. He's not Leo. Well, how do you say it?
Theophilus.
Theophilus Wilmot.
Oh, you know Mr. Wilmot?
Yes, we attended the same orphanage when we were children.
Oh, I had no idea. Well, that's lovely. It's always nice to have a familiar face.
Yes, especially with the sea of people asking you questions.
Oh, how many times have you been asked if you're married?
Oh, every person has asked me such.
You'll
Except
get
your
used to them.
father.
Well, you'll get used to them.
Yes, well, I've been a part of high society for a short time now, but I find it's fun to watch, not as fun to be directly involved in.
You're not the first person who's confided that in me.
Well, you are very easy to talk to.
Thank you.
So, what are your interests?
Well, I mean, I spend quite a bit of time reading. I ride with my sisters. Have you met my younger sisters, Colonel?
It's possible. I'm sorry. There have been a lot of people I've talked to in the last 20 minutes.
You'd remember them. The hair usually does it. My closest sister, Amelia, loves to ride, so we spend time riding together. But I find myself quite busy as of late, helping my father.
Oh, I see. Well, I have been speaking with him very frequently about the mill and arrangements and money and all that, you know.
How goes your business here in Tansham?
Very well. Thank you for asking. With this opening of the mill, I expect that things will progress quickly. I've, recently invested in a new spinning mule, an iron type contraption that will make things go faster, and it has almost doubled production.
Well, I imagine that's good for business.
Yes, I hope so. And I do have a wish that, if society will allow it, producing things faster means they, in the long run, will cost less. And to produce, and then people of different statures and statuses can then procure those things and buy them, and perhaps the whole high class versus low class will be brought closer. At least that is my hope.
A fascinating hope.
Yes. I do apologize if I go on. I don't talk to most people unless it is about business.
Well, we have all afternoon. I imagine we can find something else to speak about.
Between you and I, if I need to step away for a breather so that people aren't asking me questions 24, the whole time, is there a place that I can do that?
Well, between you and I, not my father, there is a courtyard I go to, I like to think. Past the garden around the side of the house.
Thank you very much. Would you care for a drink?
Yes, I think I would.
She'll scuttle off and get her a drink.
As soon as you go to the punch bowl, the Marquis just pops out. Oh yes, drinks. Yeah. Oh, how are we getting along?
Father?
What?
Oh, sorry. I thought he was at the punch bowl.
He was at the punch bowl.
Going as well as they can be for the first 5 minutes of interaction.
Capital. Oh, punch.
Thank you. Is there anything I should... I mean, you know your daughter very well. Is there anything that I should speak to her about that will spark her interest?
She helps to tend to the gardens. She rides them. She does wonderful work at the church as well.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Yes, of course.
Take the glass. I'm gonna scan the crowd for Theo.
Could I do something with it, like while that conversation had been going on?
Mm-hmm.
I had a quick scene that I wanted to do with Theo.
Yes, please.
And it may be super quick because he just walks up. He's got 2 glasses in hand and walks over to Theo and just says, "Punch."
I'm sure you've had enough of that since the other night. And he'll take the glass.
Oh, you're finding yourself this day, cousin?
It was turning out swimmingly. Now not so much.
I find I have this crick in my neck since the other night. I can't possibly imagine where that came from.
I would recommend that... He'll just grit his teeth. I apologize.
Well, I'm sure that that is very difficult for you, and I accept your apology wholeheartedly. Kind of looks over, scans across the crowd, and sees the Countess speaking with the Colonel, and just standing side to side, just says, "They seem to be getting along nicely."
Well, yes. I figure, well, the Colonel and the Countess are charismatic people. They know how to navigate this social occasion.
You know the Colonel well, then.
Only a little bit. She was at the orphanage with me when we were younger.
Ah. That makes sense. Well, I suppose you have much catching up to do then.
What did you mean by that?
Nothing. Just observation. You know, I've been having a bit of drink, things just slip out.
I see that's a habit then.
More than you'd know.
He will raise his glass to Riley. To good terms and your good health, cousin.
Yours as well. Before I scamper off to find something to entertain me throughout the rest of this afternoon, I was looking to visit my uncle's estate in the coming weeks. Perhaps do a bit of hunting with the Lord or Mr. Hammer. I suppose you'll be there, won't you?
I'll make the garden pretty just for you.
Perfect. Well, I'll see you then.
I do believe I saw Miss Keating somewhere.
Sorry.
Several dogs run through. The Marquis hunting dogs run through.
Our neighbors are shooting off fireworks.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Dick bags. I do believe I saw Miss Keating somewhere over yonder, and he will motion with his head.
Looks around. Oh, excellent. I have some words to have with her. And says, I'll leave you be then.
Theo will take a sniff of the punch real quick. Did Riley do anything to it?
No, he didn't roofie your drink.
I was gonna say he spiked it, but thanks for taking it to the next level.
No, it's perfectly fine. Okay. It's just punch.
We were all wondering. RJ just said it. Okay. Do we have any other scenes? Give me a lineup. We'll just do a lineup and we'll go down the line. Anyone have any scenes we want to do? Go.
Well, Annabelle wanted to find Theo, and I figure Theo is talking with Grover.
Okay. Annabelle and Theo. Grover and Theo. What else?
I do
We'll make our way
also.
down.
I do also want to talk to Theo.
Countess and Theo.
Well, what I had wanted to do was take Theo over to the Countess to talk to her with me.
Oh.
Okay. We'll get to that in a moment. Any others? Good. Okay, we will get to all of these. So, in that order, let's go to let's do Grover and Theo. Theo, did you make your way over after that conversation to Grover?
Yeah, he would have gotten another cup of punch. Are you faring, Mr. Shelton?
Well, this is quite the event for, a guest of honor, but having now met the Colonel, I can see why. You see him trying to, look over the crowd, see where she's gotten off to.
He'll hand the punch over to Grover. Looking for someone?
Just the guest of honor. She was at Raleigh's party the other night, and we had, we met under fortuitous circumstances.
The one cog in Theo's head finally reaches the top and a light bulb dings. Oh, you! And you guys snogged.
Well, yes, but there was also a lot of people who were snogging each other. It wasn't like it was, particularly. She was not the only one, but she was a bit of a standout, yes.
You've been painting her.
I've been trying to paint her, yes. But now that I know who she is, I will be able to actually finish a portrait of her.
I wish you good luck, sir.
Thank you, though. As much as I do wish to paint her, that is yet another painting on my to-do list that at this point seems never-ending.
If it's too much, we can always rescind the contract that we have.
I appreciate it. That is certainly a project I wish to complete for the subject matter, but it may take longer to complete than we initially estimated.
That's fine. Mr. Shelton, always remember you yes, you have a career in painting, but do make sure to take care of yourself.
Thank you, Mr. Wilmot. It's one of those things where you may know the words, but until someone says them to you, it does not truly sink in. And so I may need to hear it from a few others before I cut myself some slack, but we are getting there.
What's the term? You're preaching to the choir?
Yes, well, I have not been attending church as of late to try and catch up on my painting.
Mr. Shelton, you need some time in the 5 Hail Marys, I guess will do. And he'll raise his glass.
Throw in a few Our Fathers just for good measure. But I did receive your letter, and I do believe we should find time to make that happen.
I do feel that you and I wouldn't want to say on the same playing field because that sounds a little too pretentious. Kindred spirits, as it were.
So, I suppose so. Why are you also interested in some of the women or men who have been at the party?
And Theo said, "You have no idea." No, I'm just... The situations we're in are a little similar. Coming into this old money and having to navigate it with, I feel like, everything against us.
It certainly does feel that way sometimes, though. From what I've heard, you have had a rougher go of it than I have.
Oh, you'll catch up in no time, friend.
I appreciate the tone, but I don't think I appreciate the message.
Good. Excellent. Given what we're hoping to accomplish, let's go to the Colonel and Theo. So you spy Grover and Theo chatting with each other.
She moves over very elegantly, and she gives a bow to Mr. Shelton. Hello again.
Hello, Colonel Breyer. It's wonderful to see you again. Have you been managing to maintain your sanity amongst the barrage of questions?
Oh, it helps that it's asked. The same questions are asked over and over. I can just prepare the answers.
That would make things easier, yes.
I was wondering if I could steal Mr. Wilmont here.
Oh, sure. I don't see why not. I think at this point Grover's the only one who doesn't know that they were in the orphanage together.
Mm-hmm.
But as we were discussing, Mr. Wilmot, we will catch up at a later date, but Grover has no idea what to say.
I'll bring the wine then, red or white.
Folks.
She'll give him a curtsy and kind of more playfully, like more familiar, like an interaction. She'll kind of like grab his arm and like pulling Theo away, and just I know we haven't seen each other in some time, and I know that our friendship has yet to be rekindled, but I was wondering if you could help me.
Sure. What do you need help with?
You see, the Marquis is interested in. He wants me and his daughter to make a coupling. I haven't wooed a lot in the past, and I don't really know what I'm doing, to be honest. So I was hoping that since she is interested in the church and gardening and such things, that she would be able to help me in speaking to her. I feel more comfortable if someone I knew was there.
If Theo had a mouthful of punch, he would spit take. Yes, okay. All right, lead on then.
All right, I'm gonna take him over to the Countess. Beg your pardon, ma'am, but I was wondering if you had met Mr. Wilmot, if you knew him.
I have, yes. Mr. Wilmot, I'm glad to see you made it.
Your Honor, always a pleasure.
Well, you had said that you enjoy gardening as well as find a deep joy in the church, so I thought someone who we both can speak to would be nice.
That's a wonderful idea.
So wonderful.
They're both smiling, I think, up to about here. The rest of it is just panic.
So, Theo, if I may, tell me, what are the regional flowers of this area? What is most prevalent?
Well, bluebells in this time of season. The perennial flowers should be blooming in about 2-3 days. But if you are ever by the Hammer Estate or around the church, you'll see most of my handiwork there.
I am incredibly partial to the bluebells.
You have been to the church and seen his gardening skills then?
Oh, many times, yes. I make trips down there every now and then outside of Mass. I have my seamstress makes clothing for the children.
Oh, that's quite kind. You know, I could donate some textile, some fabric for such an occasion.
That would be lovely.
What do they call it? Noblesse oblige? Doing something outside of your station for the common man?
Yes, well, you know where I came from, so sometimes I like to give back. You know his gardening skills. Can you give me a recommendation? What's the word? A review. I was thinking of hiring him to come work at my estate.
Ah! How lovely. Yes, Mr. Wilmot is very skilled. He has an eye for color, I think. and he works very hard. I can give nothing but a sterling reference.
And his personality, is he... And she kind of looks at him in like a playful, like, older sister almost vibe. Like, is he agreeable?
I find him so. He's very kind.
Good. I'm glad you haven't changed that much.
Small town, little changes.
So you've known each other for quite a long time then?
Yes, I mean, as children we knew each other, and once I was adopted and taken away, we lost touch. But I still feel that we have some sort of connection from that shared history.
Though I didn't quite peg you as a military sort.
Well, once I got a taste for it, I felt it in my duty to do so. Am I still part of the army? Okay. So
Yes.
I wouldn't tell them at what age I enlisted.
You don't need to tell them that necessarily. They don't need to know your age.
Yes. Well, and it seemed to be, I mean, it was agreeable with me at the time, and it still is. I get called on every so often to go in and speak to the new recruits and such, and I try to be as uplifting as possible.
If you call decking someone upside the head uplifting.
I think you are speaking above your place, Mr. Theo.
There's a small shit-eating little brother grin.
Uh-huh.
She's trying so hard not to laugh. Well, if anything, I'm glad to be a part of you two finding each other again. I said this to Colonel Breyer, but in a new place, it's always welcome to have a familiar face.
Let's plan something then.
That would be lovely. Perhaps we could have it at my estate. Only fair. I can't guarantee that it will be quite as, and she motions, large as a gathering, but I have a good chef and a good butler that I think will keep us all very entertained.
Right. Well, if you'll excuse me, I think I will take a bit of a walk around the grounds.
She gives him like a, okay, please don't leave me. Thanks.
Equally panicked. Miss Wilmot, I don't want to impose upon your time, but I had hoped to speak to you at some point about some further donations to the church.
Oh, yes. We could do that now if you wish.
That would be lovely. Get the business talk out of the way.
Of course, I shall leave you to that. Enjoy the afternoon.
I'm sure we'll see you.
She walks away.
Just turns away from crowd and towards Theo.
He returns.
What is happening?
I don't know.
Shall we take a walk? I have something I want to show you.
By your leave, Your Honor.
We walk a little bit away. I would like to show him the letter that the Countess, not the Countess, I'm the Countess, that the Colonel, wrote to me.
Oh, dang. Okay. That's a big one. So I will say that that's resolve token territory.
Yeah,
so let's
what I was
ask
gonna ask.
LB. Yeah. LB, are you amenable to this? That if you are given a resolve token, that the Countess will share your letter to her with Theo.
I'm okay with this. I'm here for this.
Done. Okay.
Do
Do
it.
a swap of tokens.
Just have so many of them. Gotta start getting rid of them.
Spand them.
Okay. I show him
So
the-
do you sort of run up to your room and run back down with the letter?
Yeah.
Okay.
It stays between us.
I imagine they're out of the way somewhere, like by the stables. Theo's reading the letter. A horse decides to crib on his head.
Sorry to interrupt again, but if you're by the stables, I am also going to throw a resolve token that Amelia and Aurora Keating are actually by the stables having a conversation.
We're best friends now, I guess. I have regrets.
You're actually like you're both back there like by the horses, and you hear them sort of around the corner. Are you amenable to that, both of you as well? Yeah. All right. Take
Yeah.
tokens. Go.
Just get it right back, huh?
Yep.
I'm trying to use these. Now, I've received a few letters in my time, but I don't think in any was I called a beauty, alluring, and what was the other one? Stunning? All within 3 lines?
I'm pretty sure I've sent you those in separate letters.
Perhaps. Not the point.
This is not good.
This is very bad.
This is very bad. Remember when I wrote about accelerating the timeline? Do that like times 10 now.
That's why I thought you should know. Especially now that I come to find not only is my father... meddling is not a kind word to use for one's father. Neither is interfering,
Matchmaking.
I suppose. And now come to find out what, she's a childhood friend of yours.
Well, I want to say that's not my fault. But, oh boy. I'm not gonna give up.
Coming around the corner, you hear Amelia. Well, yes, and that's the chestnut, and oh yes, we could absolutely. Oh, hello, Rose, Mr. Wilmont.
Amelia!
Amelia,
Were you talking about church matters? She just has like this terrible look on her face, like she screwed something up.
looks over to Rosamund really quickly and points at yes, actually, the Countess would like to talk about donations.
Yes.
Right. Yes, they were talking about church matters. And Aurora just kind of looks between everyone. Yes. Church matters. Of course.
I don't know if I need to spend a resolve token to have Aurora see through all the bullshit.
We can make it official. We're just throwing tokens around all over. I love it. Yeah, sure. Y'all amenable to that?
So I guess 2, 1 to each.
You can spend one. We'll give them
Okay.
one each. That's fine.
God damn it,
Guess
I'm
the
gonna come
resolve
out of
token
this with more
undergoes
tokens than I
mitosis.
had.
Just start spending them.
Spend them tokens. Spend them.
Make it rain.
All right. So, yeah. Oh, you're pretty sure Aurora is not buying this line. Well, Ms. Spice was showing me some of your lovely horses. The stables are quite fine.
Indeed. No one loves the horses more than Amelia.
Oh, no, she's made me quite aware. It's been so lovely to talk with Miss Keating. She seems to enjoy herself as well. Oh, yes, of course, darling. I'm talking to myself. This is really tough. Okay, I'm going to get out of this situation as fast as I can. We were just leaving. Please don't let us keep you. No, we were just leaving, so she'll just sort of put an arm through Aurora's. I will see you back at the party after you're done with your church matters.
Of course, Amelia. Of
Mhm.
course.
She'll like grab her arm and sort of bring her around and so like give you a head back, like, and then walk away. It's okay.
Everywhere
think-
we go.
It's called the Regency, not invasion of privacy.
You'd be surprised. Theo. I've told you about Miss Keating. If Miss Briar is also on this track, I can only put this off for so long. And my father is the reason that the Colonel is here in the first place. He might hear me out about Venice, but I don't know what to do.
They will fold the letter and hand it back to Rosamund. We've been at this long enough, we'll think of something. And I will definitely do something about it.
Do you promise?
Looks around to see if there's anyone there. He'll kiss her on the cheek. I have a broken one.
Just bright red. Not yet.
You better go back to the party before they start talking,
Miss Wilmot?
Your Honor.
If you're going to be throwing pebbles at my window, learn which one it is.
Well, I know now.
She's been talking about it.
As the scene ends, Theo turns to one of the horses and like just scritches it under the chin. And you don't say a word.
For a resolve token, I won't.
Mr. Ed in the stables? That's too much of a genre bend, guys. I'm sorry.
Horse. I'd like to add a new connection. It's this horse.
Oh, that's a lovely button. Do we have any other scenes we want to get to? We haven't heard a lot from Raleigh, so just throwing
No.
that out there too.
I don't really have a scene. Raleigh has nothing to do with this. He just wants the fallout from all of this. Could I spend a resolve token? I don't know if I need to throw another one at Savannah or at RJ. That at some point during the party, Raleigh overheard a conversation or was privy to a conversation with the Marquis, maybe giving some clues as to his intentions with the Colonel, so that Raleigh is aware of what's going on there.
I would honestly say that's more a token toward LB.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah. So if she's amenable to that, I'm assuming that the Marquis will be bugging you for the remainder of the party. Are you all right with Raleigh overhearing at least a portion of that
Oh,
conversation?
for sure.
Okay.
Okay.
But I gotta spend some tokens at some point.
I too wish to throw a resolve token
Yes, just bring them all out. Yes, just inundate us. Less.
at
less.
Savannah. I mean, Sean.
Oh boy.
You hear from Aurora about the meeting between Countess Rosamund Spice and Theo.
This bitch.
Yum yum yum. Yeah. Yeah. No, I love it.
Mana from heaven. All right, exchange. So, as you probably would assume, as soon as she was done, she walked back with Amelia, left her at the punch table, and immediately came over and spilled everything to you.
Perfect.
What do you have in your flask there, Riley? Secrets.
That's why his flask is so big.
It's full of
Beat me to
secrets.
it.
No, it's full of absinthe.
Yeah, it's actually full of absinthe. Oh, I love it so.
feel like we're all throwing resolve tokens, but I kind of want to throw one too.
Yes, please. Yes.
Towards Sean.
Oh boy. Okay.
His desire to meddle becomes very strong, and he's going to drop a hint to the Colonel about their relationship.
You guys, I'm doing fine ruining my own life.
Again, so the tokens would go to the person or persons that would be most
okay.
affected by the change of the storyline. So I would say that would be a token to both Savvy and RJ in that regard, if they are amenable to it.
Just can't get rid of these.
I started today with 5. If
How
I
many do
take
you
this
have now?
one, I'll have 8. And I spent
boy.
one. I think I'm losing.
Oh, it's golf rules? Okay.
Yes.
Yes, it's golf.
Give
rules.
me
You
your
understand.
tokens. I
If we
eat
do
them
that,
for
though-
sustenance.
I
You don't
would
have
like
to say outright.
No.
Yes.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
What?
No. I say yes. I don't have to say that outright.
Oh, no,
I
yeah,
just-
exactly.
Yeah, like I don't think that's Raleigh's style. I do think playing that out in a quick scene would be really
Do
beneficial,
it.
though.
Sure.
So I think this is around the time they're at the stables. No. Yeah, because he already knows about that. So yeah, this is when right before they come back. Aurora's come back, talk to him. They're still at the
Mhm.
stables, finishing their conversation. Cool. Colonel,
Yes, Mr. Addison.
I do apologize for my quick exit earlier. Had some pressing business to take care of. How are you finding your afternoon?
Oh, it's quite warm today, but I can't complain.
Well, where are you from exactly? I don't think I got much detail from before. You're new to the area?
Yes, well, and she kind of goes into like I've said this 16 times already today, but I was born close by. I grew up in Brighton, and with my adoptive father, who was a guild master of the textile guild, and
Oh yes. I was speaking with Mr. Wilmont earlier. He mentioned that the two of you attended the same orphanage.
yes.
Right. That must have been a trying experience. I can't imagine growing up in a situation like that.
Well, I did that and then joined the military, so I can't imagine, comparatively, one was slightly harder than the other.
More trials and tribulations for you then. You've had a difficult go of it.
I wouldn't say that. I think working hard for what you have is probably the best thing you can do.
I may have to try it sometime. Well, I suppose you'll be in town as long as the militia's stationed here, I suppose.
Oh no, I'm opening up a new mill with the Marquis. So I have rented an estate up the road. So I'll be staying for quite some time. The militia really only needs me from time to time, usually to get new recruits in line, as it were.
Right. I had overheard the Marquis speaking of an arrangement between the two of you. I didn't realize that it was business,
Of
strictly.
course. Yes.
Well, Theo, I would be delighted to hear more stories of what my darling cousin was like growing up.
I'm sorry, cousin?
Yes, distantly.
Oh, I see. Yes, well, I mean, I could tell you many stories of him playing in the mud, but really I left quite early. I was about 7 or 8 when I left the establishment, so it was more of a childhood, what children do.
Well, maybe not as exciting as I would have hoped then. I did hope to get some gossip on him, but I suppose he was as unremarkable then as he is now. Well, I probably could share some rather interesting stories of times that we've had together here, but I wouldn't want to besmirch his name like that. Theo, I'm sure growing up, you had all sorts of experiences with him getting into things that he wasn't supposed to.
I see. And you think because he is stationed below you, you're better than him?
I wouldn't go so far as to say that, but he does have a tendency to stick his nose places that it doesn't belong. And he very directly draws his line of sight over across the garden in the direction of the stables where the Countess and Theo are walking back from, and he gives a pointed glance there, and then he looks back to the Colonel and gives a smile and says, "But I'm afraid I'll have to rush off again. I have a pressing engagement. It was lovely to meet you."
And you as well, Mr. Addison.
Righty then. So much is happening. Do we have any other scenes that we'd like to get to, or do we want to call our novel chapter to a close there? Okay. Well, that is one more novel chapter in the books. What a chapter. Whoo! All right. Why don't we take a quick bio break for everybody, and we will come back very shortly with a round of reputation. This is going to be fun. So everybody refresh your drinks, refresh your snacks, grab some dinner. We'll be back in just a few minutes. See you soon. And welcome back, everybody. We are refreshed. We are ready to go. We are ready to take a look at our bad or good reputations. So, grab your family backgrounds, kiddos. Let's take a look. All right. After that amazing party, if I may say, let's see how we're faring, friends. Let's start. Hey, we'll walk LB through this. She hasn't gone through the process, so we'll start at the bottom. All right. We will start with LB. So, on your family background, which I believe we went with new money, correct?
You're muted.
Yep. You're still muted.
Oh. I said I think I did a couple positive tags.
Okay.
I secured a personal invitation from someone of higher social status than myself.
Mm-hmm.
And I acted in obedience to society's conventions, despite considerable hardship in doing so.
I'd say. Yeah, you definitely get a positive tag for sure. So I would say with this, since it's several, whatever stands out to you as the strongest positive that she accomplished.
Probably the acted in obedience
Cool.
to society's conventions.
So basically went along with
Yeah.
being introduced to 1,800 people.
Yeah.
Okay.
Even though the town has 700.
Exactly. Like people came back for seconds. So
I bet they did.
hey yo. So you can we'll go ahead and add a positive. So in that regard, patient. What's a good descriptor for mustering her way through that? Whatever you think.
Tolerant.
Yes, tolerant. I like it.
All right.
Perfect. So go ahead and add that under your positives. Awesome. Alrighty. And Alex.
Oh dear. And compared to everything else that happened this chapter, let's see. Oh, what did Grover do?
I would say yet again, he secured a personal invitation from someone of, well, not that the colonel's a higher social status. Yeah, I could say that.
Okay. Yeah. Just gotta think of what the adjective for that would be.
You're gonna have to start spending some of these attributes. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I am currently at 5 out of 5 positive tags.
And that's good because you can start spending those for specific scenes that you want to go through. So
Yeah.
let's see. For securing the invitation from the colonel.
Know if charming would be accurate.
Sure. I like it. Charming. Excellent. RJ.
±0.
Pretty neutral.
Pretty neutral, feeling it.
Okay. Cool. Alrighty. Savvy.
I think I did a good job
How so?
at this party. Mostly because I had to talk to the colonel twice. And it was very stressful. And I think the sort of going along with letting her dad introduce them, and then Snoop, and then talking to the colonel again with Theo standing right there, and sort of going along with this. Oh yes, he's your friend. You want to have another conversation with me? This is very stressful, but I'm not going to tell you.
I would say that was definitely a hardship that you put.
It was very hard for me.
So yeah, I would say that's very fair. You need to be spending some of these
I
too.
know.
Why don't you tell for the folks at home who don't know the system that well? How do you spend these?
Oh yes,
we
I'm
did
glad
one.
you asked.
We did one at the beginning of the session.
Yeah. So with we kind of needed a way to get Theo that invite. So Savvy's character had a particular attribute called charitable.
Mhm.
And so she spent that as a resolve token. And then we did a scene where she used that particular attribute of being charitable to get RJ, Theo's character, an invite. And so that was spent and then that went away. So they're essentially additional resolve tokens for your character that will be resolved in a scene. All right.
Come up with a word.
You already have so much in duty, honor. Thesaurus?
Patient is not really what I want. Like
Compliant?
accommodating?
Accommodating. I like that. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Done.
Don't know how to spell that
And
one either.
That's okay. There are 2 C's in there somewhere. Sean.
I think Raleigh was doing fine up until y'all made him get all up in everyone's business in the end there.
We made him.
No, I brought it on myself. I think he where was it? Act on desire in a way that compromises your duty or morality. I mean, morality for him is relative, but in the general sense of morality, selling out Theo like that in the end might have been. Plus some of the comments that he made throughout about people of lower social standing and stuff like that. Yeah, it was just generally. So yeah, I think he gets a negative condition.
Oh, and
Or,
is
a
that
negative? Yeah, that'll be 3
that
for me.
bumps you over? Okay.
Yeah. Which I've
So-
been waiting for this so much.
Yeah.
So
Wait.
I'm gonna give him conniving as the word.
Okay.
Is what I was thinking. Yeah.
That sounds perfect. Or vengeful, conniving. I like that. And then
Well, RJ had something to say.
Oh, what's up, RJ?
Theo hit negative rep condition before Riley did?
Oh yeah.
Yep. Well, that's because Theo is a good person. and and Raleigh doesn't really have a moral compass.
Yeah.
So
And so I get to choose which one of these two happens, or do you choose?
No, so you would get to choose what makes the most sense. So if you want to read them out for everybody, so you have 2 negative possibilities.
So one of them is fracture. Someone close to you is appalled by your behavior and refuses to talk to you. The one that I wanted to go for, though, is broke. Your debts or poor behavior leave you unable to access the source of your money.
Oh, goodness. So that would be your mother currently getting real pissed.
Hmm.
Yes. So Ms. Mildred Addison. So let's go ahead and we'll do that scene just real quick. Mildred did indeed get wind of some of Raleigh's behavior at this luncheon for the Colonel. So take that one away.
Can we play this out, like, because he's invited her to come back home to like see him, so he's like out in the back and is like looking around and is having some of the servants like moving some things around, like taking the snakes out of the hedge maze, and like doing some planning for what he wants to have done that back there for his next party, and looks back, sees him, and says, "Oh, hello, mother."
Think about your mom for a second.
Take your time.
She's still like this. Raleigh?
Mother, I hope your travels were well and uneventful.
They were. Lovely to finally hear from you.
Oh, well, I was very busy keeping up with the estate and tending to business in town. There were quite a few engagements to attend. Everything in good order, though.
Oh, I've heard you had quite a bit of business to attend to.
Why, whatever do you mean?
Won't you join me for some tea? We have things to discuss.
Ooh, well, of course. I'll have the kitchen bring something right out.
Excellent.
Out here on the veranda?
I suppose. I should take in some sun. It calms me.
Yes. I will return shortly. Goes quickly running off into the house. One of the servants comes out with like a nude portrait. He like, no, put that in the cellar. Gets the tea, comes back. Yes, no sugar, I assume.
No. Thank you.
Right. Pours the tea. So what is it you wish to discuss?
Well, Raleigh, if I might be frank with you, I would like to discuss you.
Well, it is my favorite subject of conversation, but I am starting to guess that this isn't going to be a pleasant one.
If you think that a word of your exploits does not reach outside of Tonsham, you are mistaken.
Now, Mother, you shouldn't pay any credence to rumors. You know how people are, saying all sorts of things.
Oh, they've said all sorts of things. And I'm starting to think that they've said enough things that it makes them no longer rumors.
Now, I can't imagine what you've heard, but I can promise you that my exploits, as you put them here, have been only for the better service of the Addison name.
Now, Raleigh, I am your mother, and you will not lie to me. I don't care how old you are. And I would not repeat what I've heard, even in a confessional booth.
Now, Mumsy, just calm down and we can talk about this. There's no reason to get upset. I mean, like I said, everyone that was there was pleased by their attendance. In fact, I'd imagine it's done good things for our name around town.
Oh, well, you always had an active imagination. Now, you can do whatever you want to besmirch your own name, but you will not besmirch the name of this entire family, and you will not besmirch mine.
Well, yes, whatever I need to do, Mother. I'll attend service and go to confession with the Reverend and do my penitence for any ill I have caused our name.
What you need to do is behave. You need
Right.
to make amends, and you need to work on... Well, Raleigh, if I might be frank, yourself. I will not be funding any more of these exploits or these parties.
Now,
Or
Mother,
any more of
let's-
your outrageous tailor bills.
I don't know how you expect me to go to service if I'm not in the latest fashions.
I expect you
can't-
to wear what is in your closet.
After I've already worn it.
Yes, Raleigh. Now, I know this is painful for you. I will not be funding any
Incredibly.
more of your exploits until the rumors, as you call them, about you are much less offensive. It is not up for discussion.
Yes, Mother. I will do my best to please you. Excuse me for one moment. I need to make sure the kitchen is working on lunch. And just it goes into the house and gets far enough out of sight and starts yelling, "How am I supposed to wear the same clothes twice?"
Yeah, I think that's pretty good.
One pant leg at a time, like everyone else.
Oh, beautiful. So we are broke until we can manage to again spend one of those tags, again to your own detriment, but at that point it will be gone. Oh, all right. We are gonna jump now to rumors and scandal. Let's pull up the rumor sheet. Y'all, we have so many available for consumption right now. Let's do a quick review. All right. Rumors that have not yet been spread. Here we go. The Countess has been seen in the company of several unsavory suitors. Mr. Raleigh is vying for the hand of the Countess. The militia intend to spend the summer and fall in Toncham. Madame Dupont is seeking to set up permanent residency within Toncham. And fearing for his health, Mr. Hammer will soon name the heir to his estate. So all of those are still available to be spread during this round, or you may make up one on your own. Any of the ones currently that do not get spread will fade after this round. So, why don't we start? We'll start at the top now. Sean, do you have a rumor for us?
Oh boy, do I. I think I want to finally lay it out and start a rumor that Mr. Wilmot has been seen quite frequently in the company of the Countess.
Mr. Wilmot has been seen frequently in the company of the Countess.
too many people know about this now for it not to be a rumor, I think.
This is very fair. This is logical. This makes sense. All right. That's your first. Savvy.
Why is it always me with you? Fine, I'm going to spread the rumor that Raleigh's after the Countess.
All right.
Deal with that.
It is spread.
Your mom is gonna freak. And
Freak to
I'm your
make it
mom.
happen.
I'm doing this. This is just for myself. This one's for Mildred.
This is for Mildred.
Now, Mumsy, we're just friends.
Oh, I love it so. RJ.
By me. I'm going to spread that Mr. Hammer will soon name the heir to his estate.
Oh, I like it. Excellent, excellent. Alex?
I don't want to take the stuff that the colonel said about, bridging the gap between lower and upper class and say that, the colonel has been heard saying that, would socialism have existed at this time? Basically just the entire dismantling of the Regency, that Colonel Annabelle Breyer has been advocating for the dismantling of the Regency.
Oh my goodness. The dismantling of the Regency was the era. The dismantling like the monarchy?
Or
The status
sedition.
quo?
the landed gentry.
Eat
Okay.
the rich.
Eat the rich. Okay.
You guys can't eat me. You need me for 90% of your rumors.
You have all of our tokens too.
I love it. Yeah, you took all the tokens as well. So
I
what are we
eat
gonna do?
them
If you eat me, I eat them.
They're my Horcruxes.
The colonel has been heard. Speaking of dismantling, I would say the status quo. Yes, sure. Done. All right, LB. So LB, you get. Oh no, I'll get two. No, do I do rumors? Do I do rumors? Yes, I
Yep.
do. I know how to run this game. Wonderful. So LB, you do one, and then I'll do two.
Okay. I think that Mr. Wilmot's gardening skills have been he's been hired to do multiple jobs now. So I think that his abilities are being
Highly
amped
sought
up
after.
and- yes, yeah.
Okay. Let's see, so Mr. Wilmot's gardening skills are highly
No. In demand.
sought. Highly in demand. Are in high demand.
No.
Done. Excellent. All right, I got two. Yeah. All right, I'm going to say I'm going to spread that. I like it a lot. I'm spreading Mr. Wilmot's gardening skills are in high demand. And I shall also spread that Madame Dupont is seeking to set up permanent residency in Tantrum. I'm gonna spread that one too. All right, we'll go back around. LB.
Oh boy, I forgot there was two of these. Oh boy, I don't know.
I know there's a lot.
Yeah, I'll do the militia one.
Oh,
The militia tends to spend the summer and fall.
excellent. So much gossip around town, guys. So much gossip.
I feel like somebody could just ask about that one. They weren't really.
I love it. Alex. I know. There are a lot.
Yeah. I'm wondering if would it take one of these rumors for word of Raleigh's lack of funds to get around? Or is that just gonna be known anyway?
I don't necessarily know if it would be known, honestly. It seems to be like a more private punishment from his mother currently. But if you want to make it a rumor.
Yeah, I think maybe one of the servants that Raleigh forgot the name of too many times let it slip. That Raleigh is suddenly without funds.
Ooh. Mr. Addison has recently lost access to his family's funds. All right. On the list, RJ.
Strange artifacts have been found when excavating the basement of the textile factory.
RJ is gonna keep pushing, and I'm here for it. Yes.
Jane Austen, but make it spooky.
Make it spooky.
We have to have one spooky rumor per session.
We do, per session, absolutely. While excavating the textile mills foundation. Here we go. Done. I love it, I love it, I love it, I love it. Savvy.
In a most uncouth turn of events, as the eldest sister is not yet engaged, Miss Aurora Keating is courting Lady Amelia Spice. In secret.
I like it.
That might already be happening.
Aurora Keating is secretly courting Amelia Spice. Is Amelia, did we decide, is she an A or an E?
She's an A.
A, okay. Amelia. Done. All right. Last but not least, Sean.
Countess Rosamund von Spice. I have to include the von.
The Von is silent.
Is soon to make a formal engagement.
Countess Von Spice.
Spice.
Soon.
The Countess von Spice
Is soon to make a decision in regard to her engagement. Is that what we're saying?
Or accept a suitor or something like
Okay.
that.
Make a decision to accept a suitor.
Regarding her many, many, many,
Many suitors.
suitors.
Apparently.
I love it so much. All right. So that means I think we're only losing one, actually, is the several unsavory suitors is going to go. So that's faded.
They're all savory now.
All of them are savory now. Every single one.
You need
Cool.
the spice for the savory.
You do. Hey. I love it. All right. Done with rumors and scandal. All right, friends. It's time for letters again. Letters. We've got letters. All right, all right, all right. So, who wants to go first?
I will.
Done. We'll start at the bottom.
Excuse me.
Started from the bottom, now we're here.
A letter to Theophilus Wilmot.
Oomst.
You, Mr. Theophilus. It was lovely seeing you the other day at the Atwood estate. I wish to rekindle our friendship as well as discuss landscaping ideas. Please call at your earliest convenience at my manor, the White Stag Estate. I don't leave very often, so just come when you can. Colonel Annabelle Bryan.
Excellent. Alex? You have so many ladies you could write to. I'm
Yeah.
just saying.
Yeah. So if a rumor is not spread, we can still act on it. It's just if it's spread, people basically assume it's true.
Correct. So if it's not spread, it means it's just idle gossip around town. But if it is spread, like people are like, yes, that's true.
Mm-hmm.
What you thinking? I can see wheels turning over there.
If he's gonna write something to Aurora about courting Amelia, and what
Okay.
his tack on that is.
What do you say?
Dear Miss Aurora Keating, I was writing again to confirm whether you still wanted to continue in our previous engagement to do a portrait of you. I have heard that you have been spending a rather large amount of time with the Honorable Countess's next oldest sister, and I do not wish to sound presumptuous, but I do wonder if the manner of portrait we had initially discussed would still be appropriate. If you still wish to move forward, please do let me know. Or if your attentions are entirely on the young Miss Amelia, then feel free to lose this letter.
That's gonna be another one that's like, oh, okay, I gotta put that away.
Into the fire.
Yeah.
I love it.
Do hope to hear from you soon, Mr. Shelton.
Excellent. RJ?
This is a letter from Erasmus Cockburn to Mr. Grover Shelton. Dear Mr. Shelton, I hear that your workload is becoming a bit more adequate. I hope your skills can keep up. I'll be in town shortly to check up on you. Hopefully we can meet for a drink and... how do the commoners say it? Compare notes? Cheerfully, Erasmus Cockburn.
It's on. Excellent. Savvy.
I am going to... Let's see. Oh, I think Raleigh's got to hear from his mom again, huh? About this business with the Countess. It's a letter. She can't yell at you that bad. Yeah, I think he receives some correspondence from his mom, from Miss Addison. Dearest Raleigh, I do hope this finds you well. I write to address yet another rumor that I have heard about my dearest son. I have heard that you have been spending quite a bit of time with the lovely and most honorable Countess Spice. I do hope this is not just a retaliation following our recent conversations. I can only pray that when you are in her presence, you are comporting yourself as a man of this family should. And should anything come of this friendship you currently have with Our Lady, please do let me know. I'll pray for you. Mildred Addison.
Oh, you didn't even get Mom. Oh, man. Sean?
This letter is from Raleigh to everyone. To my esteemed colleagues and honored guests, it is with a heavy heart that I regretfully inform you that all further engagements at Battenmore will be temporarily suspended. My mother has taken ill, and we will no longer be able to have these arrangements for the near future. Do find yourselves in good spirits. I will still be in contact as soon as the next one is scheduled. Yours, Raleigh Addison.
So everyone gets this.
Like, why did he contact me?
Is this a
Spam email.
forum letter? No.
Yeah, just like spam email.
The bottom of the letter, it says, forward this letter to 5 friends or you'll be cursed.
The admin pops in and says, "Don't spam the group chat."
Oh my god. Amazing. Okay. Oh god, I have to write 2 letters. Okay, here we go. Oh, okay. We are starting off with Aurora will go ahead and respond to Mr. Shelton. Dearest Mr. Shelton, I honestly have no idea what you are talking about. I would love to receive you at any time of your convenience at our chateau. You let me know when the lighting would be sufficient. Sincerely, Miss Keating. And number 2 will be, I mean, honestly, it's just going to have to be the Marquis to the Colonel. It's just going to have to be, I'm sorry. Dearest Colonel, thank you so much for your attention to the continued building of our little endeavor. How did you find the luncheon? I hope everything was prepared in accordance with your tastes and desires, and as well as the company, I hope was quite sufficient for you. Do let me know if there's anything I can do to further any connections or introductions that you may have started at the luncheon. Yours most sincerely, the Marquis Mortimer Spice. And we'll go back down the line. Sean.
This one is from Raleigh to Theo. And it's a very short letter. It just has a date and a time. And then what do we say the name of Mr. Hammer's estate is? Does he have a name?
I don't think we named it.
Whatever the name of the estate is.
Let's name it.
We should.
Go ahead, sorry.
It has all
Notes
that,
to see if we have it.
And then it just says, we should speak. Raleigh.
Okay, then. Savvy.
I'm thinking my initial instinct was to write basically identical letters to everyone that's courting me right now, except for Theo because he's sweet and doesn't need to be involved, and invite them all over at the same time and let it implode. I'm trying to decide if I would do that. Because there's this great rumor
Wow.
that me and Theo have been spending a lot of time together.
Mm-hmm.
And that's probably bad for me. Oh, that's probably pretty bad for me. I'm just thinking, who can I invite over to sort of nip that in the bud? But boy, I don't want to talk to Bernice.
I mean, who's left then?
Well, I'll double down on writing a letter to the Colonel. And just Colonel Briar, I do hope you enjoyed yourself at the luncheon a few days past. It was quite pleasant finally getting to meet you, and I do hope we can speak more. As you already know from my father, you are welcome at the Ardwood Estate anytime, but I would like to extend a formal invitation for a brunch. It's my favorite time of day. So, daytime. And I look forward to getting to know you outside the confines of the party atmosphere. The Honorable Rosemus Vice Countess.
Esquire. All right. RJ.
I'm so tempted to write Auntie Mildred as Theo. But I'm gonna write to the Colonel. It was lovely to see you again, Annie. I'll take up your offer at some point. I'll come calling to tend to your garden. Let's catch up for old time's sake. Theo.
Excellent. Alex.
Thinking also a letter to the Colonel, but I'm wondering if this is where, because I guess using the tags, the reputation tags, would cause a scene. It's not quite so much for the epistolary phase.
You can burn that after the epistolary phase if you want.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think just writing to the Colonel, following up, confirming about, one would be good for the portrait. I think drops in a thing again about it would mean so much to me to be able to paint you. I hesitate to go as far as to say that you have been my muse as of late, but that would not be too far from the truth. Respectfully yours, Mr. Shelton.
Okay. Last but not least, LB, round us out.
Okay, I have a question because I have 3 dates that I need to confirm at this point.
You don't necessarily have to confirm a date for us to do it as a
Okay.
A visitation. So you may write a letter to whoever you choose.
Oh boy. I feel like she has to write back to the Marquis. It is a very reassuring letter about what a wonderful time she had, how beautiful his daughter is, and how she seemed to take kindly to their conversation and their interactions. And basically, it's just like, hey, everything's going great. Don't worry about it. I got it.
And instead of yeeting it into the fire, the Marquis just goes,
I'm gonna put it on the fridge. No, we don't play with cords.
I love it. I think we've completed epistolary, friends. We're zipping along now. Boy, oh boy. All right. So, I would say let's our next novel chapter's up. I would definitely say we want to do some visitations because we have so many visitations to do. I will say, since we won't have an LB next time, why don't we go ahead and load some of those up? If there's any additional ones when LB leaves us, then I can go ahead and take care of those. But I'd like to get in as many as possible. So are there any Colonel scenes that we would like to do? Let's line them up and knock them down. Who's got one?
I would like to do the Theo one first.
All right. Colonel and Theo. Anyone else? I'm just listing them down, make sure we get through them all.
Yeah, Grover and the Colonel for the painting.
Grover and Colonel.
Brunch.
Brunch.
Sorry, Sean.
CNC.
You are an
Countess
asshole.
Colonel. Anyone else?
I mean, you
For
can
now?
be with me too if you want.
Nope.
Nope.
Fuck you.
That's what I thought the really short letter was going to be, by the way. Every time you write Theo letter, that's the letter I think it's going to be. One day.
No, not
One
yet.
day. All right, so let's go ahead and start with the Colonel and Theo. So go ahead and set that up. Is he coming to your state? Are we meeting
Yes.
elsewhere? Okay.
Yes.
I think Theo gets there a little early, and he's waiting in the lounge room. Standing by the window, he messes with a candelabra and it breaks. He's like, puts it down somewhere and turns around and tucks his hands behind his back.
The Colonel like walks by the door and then like stops, and she's like, Theo, I'm sorry. How long have you been waiting? Nobody told me that you were here.
Oh, not long. I've been standing around.
Well, thank you so much for coming. Would you care to go for a walk around the grounds with me?
Oh, steps forward and follows the Countess out. Colonel out.
Freudian slip? Sorry.
Freudian slip.
I'm hiding in the bushes.
The Colonel will take him on a walk of the grounds, go around the immediate house as far as like, and she'll explain like, hey, this is what I'm looking for as far as like, oh, I'd like large flowers here. She doesn't know much about plants, just like, I want something purple, or I want this to be more green, and that sort of thing. And as they get further into the property, like they'll go up a hill, so they're further away from the house. She'll just, so what do you think of the grounds?
Spacious enough. I could, with some liberties, take it to. I can do what you ask.
Yes, well, social norms require us to have certain things and to fall within certain boundaries. So,
Yes, but would you really want the croquet by the rose bushes?
of course, we wouldn't want anyone to get hurt. Theo, we haven't spoken in a long time. We haven't seen each other in many years.
I mean, I was too young to write to anyone, really.
Yes, I believe you hadn't even learned your letters yet.
It's a very long time ago, and I didn't know where you had disappeared to.
And I can't help but feel that in some way we could have had our lives switched. You could have been adopted by my father, Mr. Sutherland, and I could have been where you are.
Honestly, I wouldn't trade it.
But with status allows you to have certain liberties, certain joys.
What are you implying?
If I may speak frankly, and you won't look down on me in any way because of such things, I have been told, well, it has been alluded to me, and I don't know how much weight I put in these words because of whom they came from. However, I've been told that you have interests above your status.
Oh?
I don't think it's wrong to say that I have heard rumors of someone that you've been spending your time with.
Well, you shouldn't really pay attention to those rumors. There might be no base to them. What exactly have you heard around town?
Well, I've heard that you and the Countess have been spending some time together, and I understand that rumors are strange things and they take on a mind of their own, but if such rumors were to be true, I think that perhaps they would need to be handled. And if you were to continue your time with this person, that you would be needing to do it in a place that is more secretive or contained. The Countess is someone of very high status, and to be courted by someone, let us say, by my status and standards, it would be quite often that she would come to call at my estate. And if that is the case, perhaps my gardener, who is here too, they would not draw such attention.
There is a very slow blink as he's trying to process this. I need to sit down.
She'll motion to a bench. Do you understand what I'm saying, Theo?
Yes. It's just that Rose showed me your letter to her father.
To her father? It's to her.
Oh, to her. Sorry. Whoops. From what I took of it, I thought you were interested.
Well, to be honest, I am, but I don't know the girl. I met her once, and I have no history with her, and I don't even know if we share anything in common. And if she is, if she is something that draws your eye, I trust that you know better than I.
I promised her that I would do it right. I want to do it right by her.
You are aware that she has many suitors.
Painfully aware. And if the rumors aren't as baseless as they are, you could say that it's very painfully aware that she has many suitors.
Theo, I feel I owe you a debt. Mostly because I did not have many friends growing up. And you were one of them. And it like I said, our places could have been easily switched. I would like to take you on as my gardener, and perhaps if you prove yourself in this regard, you can work your way up. I would not wish to give you anything that you did not earn. However, I do have many mills and such that require tending that I cannot do myself. If you wish to court the Countess, I'm sorry, but in the rules of society now, you cannot do it as you are.
He'll lean back on the bench and look up into like the sky. I just finished unpacking too.
Well, you don't have to move in, but if you wish to well, I suppose I should see your work first. Take some time and prune my garden, then we shall see your worth.
There's a moment of silence before Theo stands up and brushes his hands on his pants and offers it to the Colonel. Let's get to work then.
Just to be clear, the process, the courting process that is going on, will need to be... People will need to believe that I and her are being... We have a connection or some sort of... I will have to actually court her for now, so that you can then grow in status and make your move when it is acceptable.
Annie, I've had to grit my teeth for a very long time. I think a few more months won't kill me.
Will she be amenable to this?
If we explain the situation to her, maybe. Sometimes I don't know what she's thinking.
Have you asked her?
So about those roses. Joking aside, it's a plan. It's something.
Now, like I said, you'll have to work for your place.
Motions to his entire body. I'm used to earning my keep around places.
All right.
Very exciting stuff. All right. Sorry. Take a drink, LB. We'll jump into Grover and the Colonel.
So, imagine Grover comes over. It's probably nearing sunset, long enough that they can figure things out, get things arranged, but and I alluded to it, but I think I want to use my charming reputation tag just to make sure Grover comes off in the best light possible, despite any out of character blunders I may commit.
Calling so late.
Yeah, go ahead and spend. So we'll spend charming and we'll kind of incorporate that into the scene. How would you like to incorporate that into the scene?
I think if we compare it to how he was with like Aurora and Raleigh doing their painting together, it's much more, it's a lot less businesslike. There's a lot more talking and chatting with her, and again, just well, I must admit I am a little surprised you still accepted. I did wonder if that line about you being my muse was a bit too much.
Well, it's not often that I am called such things.
Yes, well, I will admit, I could not get the image of you in that mauve dress out of my mind after we met. and since then, you would not believe the number of canvases I have scrapped attempting to recreate your image.
Well, then I must repay you for such things if my appearance has brought such a hardship upon you.
Oh, it is, I wouldn't go so far as to call it a hardship, but anything that you might be so gracious as to offer, I would gladly accept.
Well, I must say our meeting was very unconventional for...
Indeed, yes.
Though I won't say that I regret the meeting.
That is good to hear. I certainly do not regret it either.
So I've never... Well, I've had portraits done before, but this feels different. What did you have in mind?
Oh, well, we could either... You could get your military garb, you could... Or whatever it is you like, but we can do all sorts of positions, poses. I can do the glorifying image, the most flattering portrait, though any portrait I do of you will be flattering, but we could do something that is more for posterity. I have been known to do portraits to feed the ego. Mr. Addison can tell you all about our little session.
I can imagine. I do not have need of such things. If you wish to paint me, I think it best that you do so in a way that you choose.
Well then, if you would be so obliging, could you put on the mauve dress? And I do not know if you still have the mask from that evening.
I had to return such things, but I do have others. Black lace.
That will do just lovely, yes.
Give me some time and I shall change. Unless you didn't want to start tonight. It is quite late.
Well, I have found myself keeping rather odd hours, but as long as it is not an imposition to you.
No, I think I'm very all right with such an arrangement. You must excuse me, though. It will take a short time for me to get in that particular gown.
Take all the time you need. I will begin setting up here.
Can I spend a resolve token just to edit the scene between Theo and
Oh,
the
please.
Colonel? They talk, they catch up on like what's been happening in their lives. Theo talks up Grover and his skills.
Absolutely. So, switch some tokens. And so, yes, Colonel, you were definitely briefed on Grover's talents.
Am I getting a token or is he?
Since the conversation was with you, I would say you. Excellent. So the Colonel makes a quick costume change.
Mm-hmm. Returns to the room. I see you've arranged some things. Where would you like me?
Whatever is most comfortable for you. This can be a bit of a long process. But
Well,
I
then
think
you-
he's set up like a table and a chair.
Mm-hmm. Well, then you must keep me entertained.
I shall endeavor to do my best.
She'll kind of like sit down and I guess kind of lean over like the arm of the duvet or whatever it is and place her hand on her face on her hand. You know, I've heard many wonderful things about your work.
Oh, yes. Did you hear the one about how I'm creating my magnum opus?
Yes, I'm not quite sure what that would be.
Neither am I, to tell you the truth, but everyone seems to believe I am working on it, but in a similar vein, everyone seems to believe they themselves are the subject of that piece.
I see. Well, I mean, I've never had someone calling on me, telling me that they wish to paint me, so I mean, I can see why.
Yes, well, if I am being perfectly honest with you, so far, none of my other subjects have proven nearly as worthy of being my magnum opus as you have. Oh,
Mr.
did I just say
Shelton.
that out loud?
I appreciate your boldness, Mr. Shelton. I find it very difficult in the higher societies that people speak so freely.
Yes, exactly. I have found myself having to keep rather tight a tongue in my dealings with those of the upper crust.
Yes, from my history, it's quite difficult to maneuver conversation in a kindly manner.
Yes, yes. Some of them are perfectly wonderful people, but some of them, you say the wrong thing and...
You're
some
out on
just
your
can't-
ass.
Yes, some of them simply can't take a joke.
Agreed. So you were not born into wealth?
Oh no, not at all. I guess the Sheltons are the nouveau riche. Though it is a bit of a funny situation. My mother so disdains the old money and yet insists on having an estate and servants, but also takes it as a point of pride that we employ fewer servants than those around us, and I think she's still getting a handle on just what our station in society is.
I see. Yes, I've also in the new money. I've built everything that I have, and I've worked very hard for it. So I can appreciate those who have come up the same way I have.
Yes, well, from where I am, you are certainly extraordinarily impressive. I can only hope to have advanced similarly far when I have had a few more years at it. Oh dear, was that an impertinent comment about your age? I certainly didn't mean it to be.
She kind of like, it's all right. Age is a strange thing that I do not wish to speak of.
Then I shan't mention it any further.
Where are you taking up residence, Mr. Shelton?
Well, as I mentioned, we do have our own estate, the Jasmine Manor, but the Honorable Countess Spice it acts as my patron, and so due to the sheer volume of commissions I've taken on for those in Toncham, I have a studio and a small room at the Atterwood estate for when I do find myself working late into the evening.
Well, I can definitely appreciate your ability to work for what you love, and from what I've heard of your work, though I haven't seen any of it yet, I feel that you do your best to continue. Please don't play with that. To continue to do better in your skills.
I thank you for the kind words and encouragement. I hope to prove you right with this portrait of you, and though this may take a couple sessions to finish up, I can certainly show you some of my finished works if you were to stop by either Jasmine Manor or the Atterwood estate when I am working there.
Well, I find myself awake many evenings, so whenever you'd like to call, you are welcome to.
I shall keep that in mind. That is most kind of you.
And she'll continue to pose and have idle conversation.
All right, we're running a little over time, but do we want to do the quick CNC and then we'll finish up for today, and then we can finish up the rest of the visitations next time. All right. One more, LB. We're gonna get everywhere, squeeze every little bit out of you while you're here.
I can talk. I can talk and talk and talk. Does she come to my estate?
Would you go to hers, or would you go? Yours or mine?
Hey, you
place
up?
or mine. I think her Dad would probably want me to invite her to
Mhm.
the Adderwood.
Make your way yet again, but this time into the big house. Brought into the salon by the staff, and I would think honestly that if you all are amenable to it, that Mortimer would peek in. Oh, you're doing well. Oh, all right. I'll okay, and just make his way out.
It's
Dad,
the gif of Javert just like leaning out the window.
Yes.
my dad's my biggest fan.
Monday morning we have paperwork to sign.
Of course. I'll see you then. He just sort of peeks around.
Always business.
Well, it is the way of the world. You are looking very lovely today.
Thank you. You are as well. I am.
I was hoping we could go for a walk. If you are interested.
Of course. I do love a turnabout the garden.
Perhaps you could show me the courtyard you spoke of.
Of course. This way. Walk that way.
Make your way to the secret courtyard.
Secret courtyard. Here we are.
Thank you. And you said this is a fairly secure location?
It is. I come here when I don't want my father looking over my shoulder. Really. It's quiet.
Very understandable. Have you been able to speak to Theo since yesterday?
Miss Wilmot?
Yes, apologies. Sorry.
So quite all right. No.
Wonderful. Well, I suppose it would be best to hear from him. I have hired him on as a gardener at my estate, and he is going to be doing some landscaping. I would appreciate your opinion on the matter of gardening. And I think that if you were to call upon me at my estate, we could discuss gardening. And I'm sorry, I'm not very good at the coding. That was never my forte in the militia.
I don't understand.
I've spoken to Theo about his situation, and he's told me through a conversation at my estate that he would I know about you and him, if I'm to be frank.
Oh.
Yes.
That situation.
Yes. I was going to make a reference to roses in the garden, but it's beyond me at this point. I don't want you to worry. You seem to be concerned. I have your best interests in mind. Both of you. I know that you are being courted by many individuals at this point. I think you will find it beneficial to place me in the lead of these courtings. That way you can call upon me at my home, where you can move about the grounds as you please, with whom you please.
I think she sits down.
Rumors in small towns are very strong. And
Indeed.
though I did not come from much, I understand that status means a lot. I am also aware, or I have guessed, that your father is very interested in our coupling.
My dear Colonel Breyer, what gave it away?
I can also guess why he is so interested. My newly made fortune is something that I believe he seeks. Now, don't get me wrong. You are beautiful, and I feel given time that we will become good friends, and perhaps we could be more. However, I don't feel that that is the honorable thing to do.
Forgive me, Is that really your reasoning? The honorable thing?
I would be lying if it wouldn't be easier for me to pretend to court you. That way your father is happy, and my station and age and relationship status will not be the talk of the town.
It is... kind is not the word. But it is a kind thing that you do. You must forgive me, I fear I've been spending too much time in the company of those such as our Mr. Addison, and it is hard for me to read people's intentions.
Having met Mr. Addison, I can understandably agree. If you wish, we perhaps could go through a trial period. You don't have to put your eggs in all one basket so soon. We could try out the arrangement, and you will let me know how you feel about it.
All right. Yes.
Very good. So, we shall continue to court, as they say, and in public. I suppose we shall have to find things that we can speak about in private that aren't as... Well, we shall have to find something that we can do when behind closed doors.
Sure, I can think of something.
Are you good at checkers?
Terrible.
Ah, well, perhaps I can teach you. Chess?
I've been known to win a game of chess or two.
Well, then we shall have a couple harder games of chess.
I'm sure we'll find something to speak of.
You can teach me of the town and the people and how to navigate this high society that I find myself in.
Well, that will take quite a long time. Because of the town, not of you.
Oh, thank you. Now tell me more of Mr. Shelton.
And on that note, we'll go ahead and finish up for the night. We'll continue with visitations next time. I just wanted to get as many in with the Colonel while we have her. Thank you so much for joining us, LB. I'm so excited we got to put that together. And again, so we'll keep the character. So when LB is available, she might pop in, but otherwise we'll also keep her as a connection. So she's still around. I don't know if I'll do her justice, but if we need her, I can take care of her as well. So thank you. Really quick, I know we've gone so over, but we didn't do stars and wishes last time. So let's just do them real quick. Sean, stars or wishes?
Oh boy. Stars. I'm trying to remember this episode at this point.
There's so much.
I feel like like there was something I'm trying to think of. Oh, Savannah's portrayal of Raleigh's mother was just amazing.
I thought you said Savannah's betrayal, and I was like, wait, what did I do?
Your betrayal of my mother. No, your portrayal of my mother was amazing. So stars to that. Oh boy, wishes. I don't know. I gotta find a romance option for Raleigh at some point.
We can make that happen.
We'll work that out. I think he's been preoccupied with other things. So, yeah, that's about it.
Yay, Savvy.
Oh goodness. I think my star is probably Raleigh crying about having to wear clothes again. That whole conversation was really fun for me personally. So I think you did a great job. I think my wish is, oh jeez. I really want Grover to I want Grover to get involved in the finding out that the colonel is courting the countess.
Me too.
That's really what I want.
What I really, really want. RJ.
Putting a giant star on the the colonel and Grover's relationship. I want it to blossom. That's my wish.
I wish.
Alex.
My star is that the colonel turned out to be the biggest bro and is going to help Theo and Rosa get together. And then wish is to see just what nonsense Mr. Cockburn is going to bring with him.
I love it. My star was Theo and the Colonel laying it all out there on the line. It was wonderful. And my wish is that everyone gets a happy ending. I know we can manage it. I know we can. I have plans. I have lots of plans. Yay! All right, one more time around. Tell everybody who you are, what you're doing, where they can find you, and then we will bust out of this popsicle stand. John.
Okay. I think I'm gonna cover all the GGK stuff just like real quick since we're running low on time. Hi, Sean the Kraken King. I do lots of stuff all over. My schedule's pinned to my Twitter, so just find it there. We got a lot of changes coming up over the next couple of weeks here on the channel. A couple of cool announcements, one kind of sad announcement. I'll start with the sad one. Unfortunately, All Myths Are True is going to be going on hiatus for the foreseeable future. Due to scheduling stuff. So we will not have an All Myths Are True next week. We may have something filling the spot sometime soon. An announcement on that will come in the future, but for right now, I'll leave it shrouded in mystery. Cool announcement though. Next Friday, starting at 8 o'clock Eastern time, and then going every Friday after that, we are going to be starting a brand new game, which we are calling Neon Souls. I'm going to be running it. Sid's going to be in it. Samantha's going to be in it. GB and Morgan from Heroes Next Door, Imagine Matrix on the Twitters, is going to be joining us, and we're going to be playing the Sprawl, which is cyberpunk dystopian, like fight corporate hit squads and run missions and that sort of awesome stuff. We're going to be doing our session 0 live on stream next Friday. Don't want to miss it. 8 o'clock. Be there. Other than that, I look forward to hang out with us on Saturday for Saturday Night's Apocalypse, the premiere of that this week at, I can never remember if that game starts at 3 or 4, 3 Eastern time. I don't know why I have such a block against that game. Anyway, that's it. I'm out.
Done. Savvy.
Hi, I'm Savvy at Savvy Seaworth on Twitter. It's the only place I exist anymore. It's just on Twitter. Sean said all of the important stuff, but I'm here anytime we have something here. And when I'm not here, I am over on twitch.tv/encounterroleplay. Which actually tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern Time is the finale of the mask show that I'm running over there, The Heroes Next Door. It's here. It's happening. They're going to prom. And also there's a big bad guy and also some really terrible things are happening. But they're going to prom. So come hang out with me tomorrow and then Slang 101 on Sunday and everything after that. And yeah, you guys are really going to want to meet this character I'm building for the Sprawl game.
Can't wait.
It's going to be awesome.
Everybody, I'm RJustice at RJustice282 on Twitter and Twitch, and I tweet whenever I go live and play in a game because we are over. I will skip through everything. You can catch me on Twitch playing Minecraft because of the new update and keeping bees. I love my BBs.
Yay, Alex.
Hi, I'm Alex Omke. It's some guy. I'm here Tuesdays, Saturdays, and now every other Thursday.
LB.
Hi, I'm LB Hackemup. You can find me at LB Hackemup. I do something almost every day, except for Saturdays. But you can check my Twitter for that. Guess what? I just hit 300 followers, so I have to do a giveaway. So I'll figure that out. If you want to follow me, that's cool. You can enter the giveaway. I think I'll probably do like a like and retweet thing. I don't know. I'll figure it out. Catch me then.
Yay. And I'm Christina Sid. You can find me on the Twitters at GreekSid, mainly shit posting, but also talking about all the lovely games that I am on here on game nights. We already talked about them, and I've kept us so over time. Thank you so much for hanging out with us tonight. We will see you in 2 weeks. That is July 16th. July 16th, we shall be back. Thank you so much again for guesting, LB. And as always, good game and good night, Internet. Bye.
Good night, Internet.